This week's Three Knots Weekly preview, App State comes to town after JMU pulled off one of the greatest comebacks in school history, in NCAA history, maybe a 28-3 comeback against the Mountaineers at the Rock, at Kid Brewer Stadium. These Mountaineers are going to come into this game with revenge on their mind, and they are led by their quarterback, transferred in from a community college, Joey Aguilar, who currently is first in the Sun Belt in EPA per attempt. Sean Clark, does he know he's still coaching for his job? I don't know. They come in on a 3-game win streak after starting conference play 1-2. Their only win was a 41-40, I believe, last-second field goal against ULM. What are you expecting out of this game? And do you think JMU can pull out the win?
I think JMU can definitely win. I'm unsure of what to expect, a little bit terrified. A lot of distractions for JMU. App State can sling it. They're also very good in the secondary. And that sort of feels like the recipe to hang with JMU, right?
Yeah.
Throw the ball well, stop the pass. And they do that well. Interesting, App State 10 losses since the start of last season, 9 of them by 1 possession. So they rarely get blown out. The one quote unquote blowout was a 12-point loss to Texas State last year, which is sort of inexplicable to lose to that Texas State team by double digits. But they've hung in there with pretty much everyone. UNC, Wyoming, both those on the road were 1-score losses. They had chances to win both of those games. Mountaineers are pretty good. It's sort of the flip side of JMU, where JMU's done really well in those 1-possession games. App State has not, but they have put themselves in a decent number of 1-possession games against good teams. I think it's going to be tough. I think it'll be competitive. And if you're JMU, it's going to be tough offensively. You have to figure out, can you throw on the Mountaineer secondary? And if you can't, can you finally get something going on the ground? I do think the environment and the crowd is going to play a pretty huge factor and give JMU the edge there. I think the Dukes win, but I think it'll be a competitive one.
Yeah, this is a game that I really wish we still had Jalen Green for. It's an Appalachian State offensive line that allows pressure on 31% of dropbacks, one of the higher rates, I believe it's 7th in the Sun Belt. So right around the middle of the pack. So it's not an elite offensive line. It's not absolutely abysmal like ODU's, but it's an offensive line where you can get to Aguilar. You can push him off the spot. So Kamara is going to have a big game. Carpenter up in the interior is going to have a big game. And these guys that are kind of filling in for Jalen Green are going to have to be higher than replacement level. App State is going to throw it, like you said. Aguilar, one of the better quarterbacks in the Sun Belt. They are one of the best teams in the nation in pass success rate. They're 13th in the country. They have a successful pass, which is defined by 50% or more of yards needed for a first down on 1st and 2nd. And on 3rd and 4th, it's 100% of the yards you need for a first down. So App State does that at a very high rate. They move the ball very well, but it's against a JMU secondary that has gotten a lot better as of late. They are 18th in the nation in pass success rate allowed. So while App State matches up well against JMU, the numbers tell me that JMU then matches up really well against App State. I think this is a close, low-scoring game where we might see the defenses shine a lot more than the offenses, even though the offenses are coming into it with the gaudy numbers. Aguilar, over his last 3, saw what McLeod did, barely got one-upped. Joey Aguilar has thrown for 875 pass yards the last 3 games with 10 touchdowns and another 107 rush yards.
He's been really, really good. I think he's got, it's like 17 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions in conference play. Something like that. He's been averaging close to 300 yards a game in conference play. He's been really, really good. And he was not the starter for App State to start this year. They had an injury.
It's a QB2 battle.
QB2, injury in the first game. He looked really great when he came in and sort of has taken over from there and deservingly so. So I'm excited to watch this one. Both quarterbacks really, really good. I think JMU will pull away late and end up making it maybe look a little bit more lopsided than it was during the game. That's sort of my take. But I think especially early on, I would anticipate a pretty competitive, fun game.
Yeah, Aguilar doesn't turn it over a lot. He averages 0.7 interceptions per game. So can the secondary, which hasn't necessarily been the best at forcing turnovers in terms of interceptions, can they get that going on Saturday? And like I said before, this is a battle where the movable object meets the stoppable force. Can one of them do something they haven't been able to do all season? Maybe, maybe not.
Who knows?
Yeah, there we go.
Who could say?